Well, when it comes to performance marketing, I'd say reviews on your Google My Business profile are such an important thing that everyone can be doing. If you can't drive a car, you'll get behind that wheel and crash it. And it's the same with using AI for your marketing. If you don't know what you're doing with marketing, you don't have that human behind it.
Chris Turnbull, Director of Catalyst Creative Marketing. With over a decade of SEO and paid media experience, Chris has become a go-to partner for small businesses needing real results, without the marketing jargon. In this episode, he shares how he launched an agency during COVID, why Google reviews matter more than you think, and his honest take on AI and SEO.
If your competitor's running paid ads and you're not, they're going to be getting more traffic, and some of that traffic's going to convert. Paid ads get round about 30 to 40% of all clicks. There's 100 people searching, 40 people will end up going on paid ads, and the other 60 go to organic. At the end of the day, the goal of SEO has always been to be found by your customers.
What is the biggest misconception about local SEO that still holds business owners back?
What would hold them back? I would suppose there's two things. One is
E-Coffee with Experts.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show E-Coffee with Experts. This is your host Ranmay here, and today we have Chris Turnbull, who is the Director of Catalyst Marketing with us. Hey Chris, how's it going?
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Lovely. Chris, before we move any forward, let's get to know more about the human behind the mic. Take us back. What were you, growing up as a kid? How did you land up in the SEO digital marketing space? And also a bit about your agency. What do you guys do? What do you guys specialize in? And we'll take it off from there.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, as a kid, it's not really too important, I suppose. I didn't have any aspirations to be digital marketer at 5 years old or anything, but I quickly fell into it. And
None of us had thought of SEO as a career at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Although probably would have been a good time for it. But I first heard about it when I was about 16. First came out of school, got into apprenticeship with it, and I think I started probably how most people did, just like learning the basics. Fell heavily into SEO and paid ads, so Google ads and a little bit of Facebook ads back then at the time. This was around about 2012, 2013. And yeah, kind of started there, worked my way up through agencies and then went freelance and then started Catalyst about 5 years ago or so. And since then, yeah, we've been very focused on being a performance marketing partner for SMEs. So focused a lot on what I grew up learning, SEO, Google ads, a lot of content, email marketing as well, and some of the paid social side of things.
Lovely. And what triggered the decision to start your own agency, Chris? I mean, what was that trigger point wherein you thought, okay, let me, kind of start my own thing?
Yeah, it was a bit of a natural progression, really. I think what happened was I was a freelancer, and then that was going fine. I enjoyed it. I was working with a fair few clients. And then COVID hit, the start of 2020, of course. And a few of those dropped off or paused, and, just because of everything that was going on. So I had a lot of free time on my hands. And I thought, okay, well, I've always kind of wanted to start an agency just because I saw it as a natural progression. But it wasn't anything that I was too eager to do. It was more just, it'd be a nice dream one day sort of thing. But then, yeah, with all that extra time, I decided to start the brand, start the website, start building that up and just coming up with an idea of what we'd want to do as an agency, like what would I bring to the agency space. And then, yeah, we had about a good 8-9 months where I was able to build the website, build the brand and launch it. And then it slowly just kind of naturally happened after that. Any clients that I got in from 2021 onwards, it was introduce them into Catalyst rather than me as a freelancer. Then we got our first employee, then second, and the ball just kept rolling from there. And been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now.
Lovely. What is the story behind the name Catalyst, and how did you get that domain, first of all? And how does the name kind of syncs with the bigger vision that you have for the agency?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, when I was trying to think, okay, what could we provide to businesses and business owners? Always the agencies that I worked in at the start of my career were very much focused on some of the smaller businesses, and they were the ones that I enjoyed because you were just closer working with them. And I always worked at agencies that kind of provided everything. They were a bit of a full stack operation. So I was quite keen to do that just because it was my background. I thought, okay, let's make this something where we're a partner to these companies so we can handle everything that actually drives return on investment and everything like that. And what I found is those business owners and directors that have a company between about, 5 to 20 employees, say, may not have a marketing team on or a marketing person. And obviously they're wearing a bunch of hats. They're doing like 8, 9, 10 things. And the last thing they want is to be dealing with an SEO guy, a pay-per-click person, a company for their design and everything. You know, if you start trying to take on those, you're just giving yourself extra jobs basically as a business owner or director. And I thought if you had one streamlined contact, one point of communication, that would act as a much better catalyst to actually getting results. So that's where the catalyst came from. And then, yes, as I mentioned just before when we were talking on our call, I don't really like our domain at the moment, a little bit lengthy. And I had my eyes on just catalyst marketing, much shorter, much to the point. Had my eyes on that for a long time, managed to get it last month. So we are doing the flip to a much shorter and sweeter domain, hopefully.
Lovely, lovely. And I mean, you deal with a lot of local businesses, right? So, what is the biggest misconception about local SEO that still holds business owners back?
Yeah, it's a good question. What would hold them back? I would suppose there's two things. One is definitely, well, when it comes to performance marketing, I'd say reviews on your Google My Business profile are such an important thing that everyone can be doing. I see some of these massive companies or like quite large companies, they might have 2 or 3 clinics or a couple of showrooms, and they won't have any reviews, or they have 2 or 3. They won't be actively asking their customers for reviews, and they would have had hundreds of customers over the years, and they're sitting there with 2 or 3 reviews, and it makes doing the legwork for SEO and the trust building so much harder. So I would definitely recommend just getting reviews, asking past customers, get it to give you a review. That's going to help with your SEO massively if you're a local business, and also to build that trust as well. And then the other point I would say is probably to do with social. I think a lot of local businesses overcompete and overinvest potentially in social at the start of what they're doing. And obviously it's important to put yourself out there, but it can be the slow game. And actually there's some avenues you can take which are going to drive results so much quicker than just trying to post 3 to 4 times every other day or so, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk a lot about, the power of simplification. How do you apply that when, let's say you're designing campaigns for, I mean, like multiple channels or, for a large scale brand wherein a lot of, complicated outreach model has to be kind of designed overall?
Yeah, so I think the simplified side of things comes from what we want to provide to our clients. So simplified communication, one point of contact, everything like that, and not talking in all this jargon, just giving them the top level results. Like I said, we focus on the performance marketing side of things. So it's very much like, okay, you invested in this, we did this, this, and this is the outcome. That is how it should be simplified. And when we're talking to these business owners, that's kind of what they want to hear. They don't want to hear too much of the jargon, exactly how we built out the campaigns, because yes, they do get a bit complex from our end. So I'm not saying we have a secret method that lets us build out these campaigns in a very simple way. It's more about how we present it to the client and how we kind of integrate them into what we're doing. So it's not too complex. And like I said, by being able to be that full stack sort of partner to do your content, SEO, Google Ads, social, everything's very brand aligned. So from that perspective, it's very simple as well. You don't have people writing for the content or for the SEO, and they've got a totally different take on the brand, and then somebody writing headlines for a paid ad, and they've got, it just doesn't match up. So the continuity is very strong, and that keeps things very simple as well.
Absolutely. What is your take on, now AI has certainly, kind of simplified quite a bit in our life, but has also brought in a lot of storm complexity. I don't know how to put it. So what is your general take on AI, Chris? And then also I would love to understand, what is your go-to AI tool?
Yes, that's a good point. So I've been thinking a lot about AI recently. What I'd say in terms of my go-to AI tool, we'll start there. ChatGPT has obviously been like the biggest one, and I'm asking questions on it all day long. When I can't do something, or I need to figure something out, or if I need some ideas, it's great for inspiration. And it's kind of like, if I'm sitting there scratching my brain, I'll go straight there and start messaging back and forth with it to get that inspiration. But every single tool that we've been using in terms of, for like SEO analysis or crawls or audits or anything to do with data analysis with paid campaigns, they've all started implementing AI. So everything from my SERP monitoring tools to my auditing tools have all implemented AI, and I have seen a significant performance increase from those tools. But when it comes to AI and marketing, I mean, yeah, it's a big one. We could have a whole conversation about that, but I would definitely say that I think SEO at the moment, the impact AI is having on SEO, in my opinion, is potentially a little bit overhyped. I don't know if you've heard about all these new terms coming up like GEO, AIO,
Yeah.
LLMO, which
Oh,
sounds like the alphabet,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Answer engine optimization and a lot of stuff like that. Yeah.
I get why people are doing it, but I just think at the end of the day, the goal of SEO has always been to be found by your customers. That's the whole point of it. You know, if they're searching on Pinterest or YouTube or Google or Bing or wherever it might be, the point of optimizing your content is so that your client or customer can find it for whatever it is that you do or they're searching for. So from that perspective, SEO, search engine optimization, just works fine by my standards. And at the end of the day, I think there's just more engines that people are focusing on, whether that's ChatGPT as an engine or other LLMs and other social platforms. So yeah, I definitely think it's having an impact. But at the end of the day, a lot of what people need to do to appear higher on no matter what platform very much falls under some of the traditional SEO, but obviously there's just new things for new engines and new platforms. But yeah, that's my take on it. How have you seen it affecting some of your clients?
I mean, we have been early adopters of AI, to be honest, right? I mean, and I strongly believe in the fact that, AI was always there, just that with ChatGPT and everything, it came to the fore, but it was always there, right? I mean, a lot of processed information in the form of machine learning was always being done, right? So with all the, all these platforms, so since we also have our own platform, so we did a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning of processed information and data at the back end. So yeah, I mean, big fan of AI, to be honest, because it has made life simple, and has taken the mundane day-to-day tasks off the plate, even for content. Obviously, we do not believe in kind of, I mean, we still believe that it is not really a deliverable product, right? It still needs more polishing, more finessing from the sense that human level edit and stuff like that, right? So there's a process set, but yeah, we absolutely use it from the perspective of, kind of reducing the overall time doing I mean, there is no duplication of tasks anymore internally as an agency. So that ways it has made our life easier. So I'm very pro AI, but yeah, I mean, with the speed of how it is all evolving, you're not really sure where are we gonna be in the next 6 months. But I'm still very, pro in terms of what a human brain can achieve. And that ways I'm a bit old school in terms of what, for example, content, you can great, let's say for 600 word content for your page or whatever, for your blog, all right? But what about the storytelling, the human brain and the human heart that brings the emotional side of it, right? I mean, how to connect with the audience, because end of the day, like you said, I love that sentence, and I love when you said it, the whole story of SEO is still getting found, right? Hustle is still to get found. Similarly for content, irrespective of it is being done by AI, by human or whosoever, right? The end agenda still is that it has to be consumed by a human brain and a heart to trigger that decision making process of buying a product or a service, whatever that brand is selling, right? So it still has to, kind of connect with the audience to kind of ensure that that decision making happens, right? So I'm still a bit old school that way, but in terms of efficiency of tasks that we do day in day out, AI has simply taken over with a lot of automations that we are trying out. So it has helped for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're very aligned on our views on it, and I think you're right. It doesn't produce a deliverable product yet. In terms of you can't just switch a button and AI runs your SEO for you or your content. And it's a bit like driving a car. If you can't drive a car, you'll get behind that wheel and crash it. And it's the same with using AI for your marketing. If you don't know what you're doing with marketing, you don't have that human behind it who knows what they're doing with marketing, has that strategy, they're just going to crash it. And it's just not going to be good for your marketing or for your brand. And I think it can easily go wrong. And like you said, I think making everything more productive kind of just brings the bar up for everyone. So just doing AI on its own and just letting it run its thing and then you've got AI and a human working together, then obviously that's where the edge is, that you can instruct it and you can create that strategy. And yeah, like I said, it kind of raises the bar. So I think from my perspective, I'm very pro AI. It's just learning what's the right thing to do, what's still going to be relevant in 6 months, like you said, and what can I expect to come from it in 6 months, and how can I adapt to that? So I feel like we're adapting and learning every single day, because you see something new and you think, do I need to focus on that, or is this still going to be relevant? And sometimes something just comes and goes, and it didn't stick around for too long. But some things have a profound impact on the way that you're found by clients or customers, or how you rank on Google or LLMs. And yeah, you've just got to stay on top of that, because if you're not doing it, somebody else is, and they're using AI to be just as efficient and just as productive.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that is initially, people were scared. Then there was this thought that, AI is gonna, fade away in some time, but it is there to stay for sure, right? So it's better we adopt to it and adapt to it sooner to kind of get more efficient with our overall work processes versus the other way around. So, great, Chris. I'd also like to understand your take on evergreen battle between SEO and SEO versus PPC. What do you feel?
That's another great one. I feel like that's what I speak to about my clients all the time. I believe I'm correct in saying that paid ads get round about 40%, 30 to 40% of all clicks. So, if there's 100 people searching, 40 people will end up going on paid ads, and the other 60 go to organic. So it shows the argument for both. SEO is obviously incredibly valuable for long-term return on investment. It's very cost effective over the long term, as long as you're working on it and you can get hundreds and thousands of clicks. Even as a local business, if you're ranking at top spot for a long time, and it builds that brand, your consistency, you're always there. And obviously you're not paying £2, £3, £4, £5 every time somebody clicks. That being said, if your competitors running paid ads and you're not, they're going to be getting more traffic, and some of that traffic's going to convert. And you can learn a lot from paid ads in terms of search intent and what people are searching, because obviously famously Google's not going to tell you every single keyword that somebody is searching that finds your brand, and also did that person convert. Paid ads can give great return on investment, great competitive advantage, and a lot of insight as well. So I do think it's definitely worth running. You just need to make sure that it is you are tracking every single step of that, and you can prove that it's a return on investment for you. But I love SEO. SEO is what I started with, and it's got so many layers to it. I feel like it's depth is there, and you can really get your teeth sunk into a good SEO campaign compared to a paid ads campaign.
Absolutely, 100% agreed. Lovely, Chris. This has been a great conversation, but before we let you go, I would love to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right. Since you said you kind of love SEO, so, and obviously paid ads as well. So talking about Google search, what was your last one?
My last Google search, I don't know, should we have a look?
Yeah, please.
That's it. I was actually comparing two different SEO tools. That's what I was doing. So I was doing a quick comparison there. Funny, I went to Google for that instead of ChatGPT, because normally if I'm doing a comparison, I'll go to ChatGPT. But yeah, that was a Google search for SEO tools.
There we go. Google again wins. LLM. All right. Okay. What did you do with the first paycheck, Chris? First paycheck of your life?
Bought a watch. Yeah.
What is that one thing, if given an opportunity, you would like to change from your overall entrepreneurial journey since beginning till now?
What if I could change one thing about what I've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I suppose it's a quick fire. I don't really
Go for it.
know.
We got time.
Yeah. Well, I won't ponder on it too long, but I think I probably would have just went all in quicker. I spent a long time, like I said, still being a freelancer, and I had that sort of transition stage where it was like 9-12 months building Catalyst and working. But that was due to the circumstances we were under, I suppose. But I think I would have just went all in, and I probably would have grown the agency to where we're at now in a shorter time frame.
Yeah, I mean, we all have that what if moment, in your entrepreneurial journey. So it's okay. All right, moving on. Where do we find Chris on Friday evenings after office?
Pub, yeah, just
Lovely.
probably at a pub.
Lovely. Your celebrity crush?
think I might have to pass on that one.
Not really any further. You have been a spot. Thank you so much for taking out time to do this with us. For our audiences, if they want to reach out to you, how would they do that?
Just go to catalystmarketing.co.uk, get in touch with me there, or on my LinkedIn, I'm just Chris Turnbull. And yeah, they're probably the two best ways. I'm not going to be shouting out my phone number on the podcast.
Obviously. All righty. Thank you so much, Chris. This was a great conversation. Cheers, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great talking to you.